new intro. That's what I'm like. Hi.
Hi.
Anyway, Roxanne. Cassie and Chris with Salutations. We are back pretty quick this time, which is pretty cool.
Episode 6.
Oh, connection. Okay. Lots going on, so we have more to say. This one is called This Is Not a Test. We're going to be talking about what's really happening right now from our perception of what is happening right now. We're going to revisit a couple things that we've talked about many times in the past. And go from there.
You're going to give some insight, a lot of insight tonight, and I'm excited to see it. You actually have 47 pages printed off.
I wrote a novel this afternoon, and I'm ready to discuss it.
Unleash. This is not a test.
So, what do you mean by that? What are we talking about?
Today, we document specific things.
There we go.
We document specific things that are occurring in the world. And today, North Korea and South Korea shook hands and said no more nuclear war, no more war, period, between them, which is a huge, huge, huge thing. Prior to this, Saudi Arabia had a cleaning of the house. And, it was kind of a 2-day thing and it disappeared, but that was a move on piece. That younger generation in Saudi Arabia are having their awakenings and getting rid of a lot of the older conservative people.
If you really step back and observe, I feel that not only does it seem like a movie, like this is crazy. Yeah. You can kind of. I feel like I've kind of now been able to see the big picture. It's like it's cool. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the law of confusion a lot this evening. The law of confusion is a universal law, and the only way to assist someone or a world without affecting their free will is to cause confusion. It is capable, and the law of confusion is truly one of the only things in this world that makes any sense.
Meaning how
think about what I just said.
Things in our life happen that is confusing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the law of confusion sets
it's a constant.
in. The law of confusion gives you two choices: either grow or stay. The universe works on its own. It moves very, very, very slow. And when you eventually get in tune with the universe, you start operating not in a desire mode, but in a flow mode. I see people all the time, what are you fighting for? You know what? I'm not fighting for anything. I'm flowing. And this flow takes time to find, but I'm working in a reciprocal thank you with the divine.
It's interesting. It just made me think how it's so. We talk about perception all the time, but it really is all about perception, even with going with the flow. I remember I looked up quotes before about going with the flow, and it's like, don't go with the flow, then you're just
dead fish only go with the flow.
Yeah, or like you don't have a drive.
There's two perceptions of that.
It's the competition perception, I think, versus it's almost like what success means to you.
Yeah. And there's so many laws, or there's so many forms of confusion happening right now. Prior to this show, I spoke of Kanye West having an awakening and causing a lot of confusion, not only with his fans, but with the Republican conservative community, who all of a sudden have adopted him as their prodigal son. Yet I'm sitting back and I'm looking.
Okay, this is my cue.
Yeah, I'm that was my segue.
I know.
You like that?
Yeah.
You look cute this evening.
Oh, thanks.
You always look cute, but you look specifically cute this evening.
Oh boy, thank you. I'm just completely fascinated by this whole Kanye West thing because I keep seeing so many people with negative reviews like you're a traitor and all these things, and I'm like, okay, but I read the quote, the original one that this all, and I didn't see anything of what they were talking about. It was nothing about supporting Trump.
Right.
It was, I don't like what anyone does. I'm, for me, independent thought. I love everyone.
Yeah.
You know? But, and unless I miss, and this is why I want to talk about this, because if people have information or direct sources to show that Kanye West said, Donald Trump, I support and I love everything you do. We're just like each other. I support your racism, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Unless he really said that, he's never actually said he supports Donald Trump.
Right.
I think this whole Kanye thing, and I'll get more into it because I have specific, some specific tweets, but this whole Kanye thing, either, it's only going to go one or two ways. Either what I feel is that he is, in his own way, trying to either help Donald Trump, or this is part of the confusion piece. He's an agent of chaos.
Yep.
I happen to know an agent of chaos, and it sucks a lot of the time.
Who would that be?
But the chaos that this person has created has helped many people, and myself included. So, but you need that. You need both, the yin and the yang. And I just find this so interesting about Kanye. For the first time, I was like, okay, so really what's going on? I'm going to try to understand this, because all the negativity I'm seeing about what's going on.
Yeah.
And I actually looked on his Twitter, and it, to me, is just, if you actually go through, I'm just going to pull random quotes here. Though hate is a similar emotion to love, hate is not the answer. Love is. The world is our family. Just think of someone you hate and try saying, even to yourself, that if you love that person. That doesn't make much sense, but I know what he's trying to say. Let's see. I love when people have their own ideas. You don't have to be allowed anymore. Just be. Love who you want to love. That's free thought. I'm not even political. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Okay? So if you really, and this is it, and one day we'll have like fancy graphics on the screen and be able to show these, but
I think we should go gangster the whole time, even when we're super famous. Just do it from our phones.
This is like this, everyone's freaking out about how he loves Trump now, and all this confusion's happening, but if you read his Twitter feed, it literally explains everything he's doing. So like this, he posted this cartoon. Okay. But this, I love this. I feel like you can relate to this.
Uh-huh.
The quote is, "Truth is my goal. Controversy is my gym. I'll do 100 reps of controversy for a 6-pack of truth."
Word.
Like, so, anyways, I'm just saying.
I love it, Cassie. I think you have a brilliant...
Well, it's just so interesting to step back and look. I started reading all his tweets, and I was like, hell yeah. Like, but wow, people aren't seeing this. He talks about being in the sunken place. He's like, I'm not there anymore. And he's talking about love, and he's talking about togetherness, oneness. What I love is John...
He made his darkness conscious.
Oh, yeah. John Legend texted him, and he has this on his Twitter feed, saying, like, man, you have so many influence, or you influence so many people. I wish you wouldn't support Trump. And he's, I'm trying to find it, sorry. But you shouldn't do this. And he's like, I'm not... Here it is. He goes, "I love you and appreciate your thoughts. You're bringing up my fans or my legacy is a tactic based on fear used to manipulate my free thought," was his response to a very sincere John Legend quote. But if you've experienced anything similar in your life of growth like this, that I now can relate to with him, and it is unbelievable.
I love John Legend more than you know.
Oh,
he's
an
an amazing man, but John Legend is imposing his agenda on Kanye West.
And that's what the whole tweet with Kanye West
Donald
was
Trump.
saying.
Donald Trump
Yeah.
is opposing his agenda on the world. John Legend and Donald Trump are both imposing their agendas. So who out there can tell me this whole everybody, dog, you go, oh my god, that's coming from complete liberals that are attached to belief systems.
Yeah.
Kanye West is not attached to a belief
anything.
system.
He is. This could be a publicity stunt.
No.
No, but listen, but it's legit. I mean, his going with Donald Trump. But what he's doing is look how much attention he's brought. But he is, if you read through his current quotes, basically, which what Twitter is, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's all about love.
Yep.
He's unattached. You have some people, though, what I love, he posted pictures of other people he's talked to, and they're like, dude, you got to take that hat off, man. You've gone too far. But, like, you can tell they get it. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing.
And he's an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
And you have to, and you will experience agents of chaos in your life, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a challenging time, but those people are what plant the seeds and make you think and look at yourself, I feel like.
You must have, yeah.
And because you can't look out there anymore because it's too much, and you have to start looking within.
You know, the agent of chaos is what it is it's a mirror.
Yeah.
And an agent of chaos has recognized their darkness and made it conscious, which means they're when the universe presents itself with an opportunity, the selfless choice is made every single time. Kanye West is in tune with the divine.
We're too blinded by labels and belief systems to say, well, he has to be choosing a side just because he's acting independently. We have to categorize him.
Kanye West doesn't have to do a fucking thing.
And that's what we said, just be.
Yeah,
that's what...
Just be. Stop
That's
becoming.
what Gandhi talked about. That's what Jesus talked about. That's what... It's really
Buddha,
beautiful.
Muhammad, yeah.
I think the majority right now is just completely blinded.
It's okay, though.
And it's part
this
of it.
Chaos will sink in.
But it's beautiful, because can you imagine, I already thought, people usually when you go through a process where you are working on yourself, raising your vibration, really doing the self-work, if you have people around you who are not doing that and are, sleepy or whatever you want to call it,
selfish.
It's
selfish, selfless. Yeah.
You don't stick around usually, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Kanye and the Kardashians. I never care about this, but it is, of course, of all people.
They're human beings. Man.
Of all people, though, with such a big following.
Huge following.
This is a very cool thing to watch. And it's going to be interesting to see if people start to step back and look at the big picture versus... oh, he's changed and he's flipped. He's now a Republican and conservative. And he even says, I have not claimed any of these things. He explains, I read today a couple pages of tweets, and it explained everything that he's doing, and it's beautiful.
His page sounds familiar, huh?
It is crazy, but it's all based on perception.
Kanye West is following his intuition. And although, I've brought chaos, and I was instructed, my higher self, and you don't want to have to do it. You don't want to, part of my purpose
and that's not everyone's purpose, right? Not everyone's an agent of chaos, right? Yeah.
And part of my purpose is Sunday Chronicles, Sun Salutations, my wall, the Instagram.
Your thoughts, these discussions.
I said last episode that the only thing the 60s were missing for a worldwide awakening was the internet. And it's the truth.
That news this morning, like you said, shot across the internet that there's a piece. It was like a movie. It made me cry. I couldn't believe.
Speaking of a movie, a couple of episodes, I'm going to dive off real quick. A couple of episodes ago, I spoke of, this is only, I spoke of the NRA, Donald Trump, the majority of the Republican Party, about 97% of them, a handful of the Democratic Party, who are all getting paid by the National Rifle Association. I said that they are hiding something. Today, the National Rifle Association is gathering all of their documents associated with the Kremlin, with Russia. My initial observations showed that the National Rifle Association was the funneling of money for the Trump campaign and for a lot of things that we're going to get to see. There's still denial, and the day in court will come, but my continued observation is that it's now gotten really bad for them.
This is the realness of what's going on.
You have your investigations, and then you have an organization in the Trump organization who a handful of them are already in jail serving their time. You've got high-ranking officers in the military who were using that shield to hide behind some things that have turned themselves in. And, today was the day of that. I mean, we had peace in North Korea and South Korea, no more nuclear bombs. And we had a president of the United States who was instigating Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un got a mirror. They both got the mirror.
He was instigating Kim Jong-un to start a nuclear fucking war to cover up his Russia collusion.
Shenanigans.
And mark my words, that's how it's going to go down.
But it's so interesting to look at Kim Jong-un and see how this attempt at this awakening where they both were given a mirror, it worked on someone.
It worked on Kim Jong-un. And
it's beautiful. Yeah. That hug is legitimate, and you can tell.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
And it matters for the collective.
Yeah, the collective consciousness. Kim Jong-un was handed a fucking empire in his 30s. Everybody watching this, that if you put yourself in his shoes, you would be a spoiled fucking brat just like he is. He had a very, very, very heavily indoctrinated childhood.
Mm-hmm. Almost like brainwashing, I feel.
His father was a very conservative. He was a very mean man, very conservative man, who was set in his ways. And Kim Jong-un and his entire brothers and sisters and whatever had a heavily indoctrinated childhood. What the fuck do you expect him to be? And what everybody needs to do is this: have compassion for him. Because if you were handed that, you'd be exactly the same way, heavily indoctrinated, spoiled, and have everything you want, including a kingdom. And then all of a sudden, the man wakes up.
It's beautiful.
How about we start showing some gratitude and step back and remove yourself?
We're not saying go and praise Kim Jong-un. This is just saying
this
thank
is
you.
good
This
for
is
everyone.
A big deal. Yeah.
I don't like nuclear missiles flying around. On the
planet.
That's not cool. And from now on, let me tell you, the four horsemen: Assad, Syria; Putin, Russia; Trump, United States of America; and Benjamin Netanyahu. Those gentlemen are the problem children of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when this is all said and done, those are going to be the four horsemen.
And Kim Jong-un used to be in it, and he woke up.
Kim Jong-un wasn't in it. He was separate. He didn't want anything to do with anybody. And all of a sudden, Trump started poking at him. Yeah. And he was like, ew. He looked into the mirror and saw himself.
Again, if you're not
had an awakening.
Yes. And that's the same timeline you gave Kim Jong-un is look at same thing happened to Donald Trump. He was basically handed a kingdom of money and all these things, so they got each other. But it is, if you can step back unattached and not label, because what's happening, people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. How about, like, that's just a distraction. I'm seeing all these posts. And I'm like, peace is just a distraction from how bad America still is.
You're distracted from reality.
Exactly.
That's what's happening there.
Our perception and what I see and feel is it's happening. We are changing course. This is the time for the golden age. I mean,
no one's escaping this. No one.
Yeah.
And people, like I said last episode, people are going to hold on. People are still holding on because they're very stubborn. but the universe has its ways, and no one escapes universal law. Universal law is you give, what you're giving is going to reciprocal come back to you.
And start
It's not
observing that
anyone's.
for
It's
yourself.
not. Yeah. Don't judge a person before that reciprocation happens.
Yeah.
But if you step back and you can see it, it's very apparent to me. And do you know the difference between me and Chance the Rapper? I love Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper got an exclusive story on CNN, and he and I both perceive the Kanye situation exactly the same. I said it on last episode, and he said it again, but CNN gave him a story.
Okay, cool. No, but
anyways, I'm saying,
I just think if you're only looking at the one tweet and listening to the news responses, go read his Twitter feed yourself.
Go in there and go check him out.
Yeah.
Answer your own fucking questions.
Yes,
And quit.
that's what I did, because I'm like, what's going on? So. But that's, again, free will, baby. What else? We had something else, didn't we?
That's kind of all I had on my notes. Okay. But this is not a test, and
that's really happening.
Yeah, everything is, if you step back and observe and remove yourself from being a part of a side and kind of find your neutral point.
Be a free thinker.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You know?
And understand that this golden age, these things that are happening, are all going to somehow connect in the end.
Oh yeah.
And I have my
that's
observation.
Faith to me. That's what.
I mean, why would we exist here without a way out? Do you honestly think my higher self is a fragment of God? And I knew I was going to incarnate to earth to understand myself.
We are strong and powerful. We chose to come here, I feel. And so that's a big deal. So fucking own it.
Do you honestly think before I came, I looked at everybody, I'm like, yo,
this place
are
is
you sure?
Sweet.
Are you sure there's a way out? Because I don't want to go there and get stuck.
Because it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is no one would jeopardize themselves. You know, I wouldn't. I'm a fragment of God, just like everyone else here, and I found my way out of the dark stuff. What did Kanye call it? Dark place? Or,
like the oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking. We said it earlier.
Sure, and you know, we've found our way out, and we're doing our purpose, and we're helping the best we can. And we're being the example, and that's all that's asked of us. We do our best every day. You know, when situations present themselves, we make that decision based on a selfless act, not giving a fuck about the reciprocal of that. I know I'm taken care of forever.
And being in the eternal now and really working on being present, I think it really helps with that.
I read something today.
You're not.
That said what. It said endurance, the 3 commas thing, and it said, you know, what keeps you going, or what did it say? Something about endurance is not giving up, and
what
keeps you going. And I thought about that, and I was thinking, existence, life, the gift of life keeps me going. I'm stoked to be here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I truly am. We're in a time. And during this existence, I've been here many times, during this in many forms, and during this existence, I am conscious. I understand. You know, like I said, I don't know anything, but I understand, and I understand that stepping back to look at the whole thing, it's gonna be okay. Bob Marley says, "Many more will suffer, many more will die. Don't ask me why," and you know, that's life, and our thoughts become our reality, and what's occurring is a lot of folks are waking up over and over and over, and so that collective vibration raises.
And also
until-
the opposite is happening.
Yeah.
So things are starting to diminish because those projecting all of their fears,
Are
their
really
fear of
happening.
being found out,
Yeah.
it's happening. There's a huge, the catalyst is, I
It's-
believe has happened.
The shifted the high. It's like this now. The conscious is
It's been pushing
way,
and then all of a sudden,
and
now
you know,
we're like, okay, and that's that little
the
nausea. I
cool,
think
the
they're
cool
feeling.
part about this, Cassie, is that we're all doing it to our own self.
Totally cool.
Everybody's doing it. Based on thought. Everybody that is in a situation right now is in that situation because you put yourself in that situation.
And that's where I think,
based on the universe presents itself, I'm either going to
gonna go
make
here.
selfish or selfless. I'll be goddamn.
And
I
admitting that,
Yeah.
and forgiving yourself
Yeah.
for that. Ugh.
Blech.
But once
But
you
when,
do,
you know,
you never have to deal with it.
You say I'm never going back. I'm going the selfless route, man. And I've always
And it
said,
feels natural. That's our default.
I've always said you got to try.
You gotta try to be an
You
asshole.
got to try to be an asshole.
Because life is so beautiful and good. And I think
Yeah.
for the first time today, I always thought I was in the moment. I think I truly experienced being in the eternal now moment for the first time because I forgot. I was
Tell the
so in the
story.
moment. I don't even remember.
Pizza.
Oh yeah.
Pizza Friday.
We ordered pizza. Woo. And I was out playing with Lazarus. We were dancing in the yard. I was just in the moment.
Static
so
dancing.
Much. Oh yeah.
We've been getting down.
It's a good way to release energy. It feels
Hey,
awesome.
today I'm gonna remember the story.
Oh no.
Heavy pizza, blah blah blah.
Okay,
Okay. Heavy, super heavy, solar plex energy, sacral
throat. My
energy,
throat's
root.
still going.
Yeah, and we went outside and we just started dancing, static dancing, Lazarus and I instantly moved all of that energy, and so that's a really good thing to do besides yoga and meditation. Just acting a fool.
It
Yeah.
feels awesome. It's so fun to
You
can't
and
help
him
but
do that
smile.
all the time.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
pizza,
so it was
eternal
just,
now.
I'm just so excited. It's such a cool feeling. I realized I was in the eternal now really for the first time because we had ordered pizza outside playing with Lazarus, having a great time. I was just so focused. The pizza guy showed up and it was like, I was like overjoyed and so surprised because I had completely forgotten we had ordered pizza, but it wasn't just like in the back of my mind forgotten. It was completely gone
Yeah.
because I had no other thoughts
yeah.
except for the
You're
now.
with your baby. Yeah.
And
Dancing.
And I looked at Chris and I was like, this is what the eternal now feels like. Everything's a surprise and everything's awesome.
Yeah. You become a walking meditation.
And it was
my
just
dear.
like,
Yeah.
I feel something shifted today as well for me, which is pretty cool. So
I
just want to share that. It was really
You've had an
cool.
amazing week.
Yes.
Nonetheless, man, it was kind of like I wanted to hit it. This is not a test. North Korea and South Korea.
Shit's happening for real.
Market. It's
Really
just
cool
real.
thing. It's awesome. I'm so grateful that that this happened.
Yeah.
They are starting the snowball rolling the shift even further.
I'm going to say this. Everything happens exactly as it should.
When it should.
Eternal now. Project intention, energy, all of my... Let's use the gardens, for example. Boom, 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 boom. And if you allow it to happen...
That's that flow.
It fucking flows. And everything happens exactly as
And then you
it
have that
should.
second while you're in the moment, you step back and you go, whoa, did you see, and Chris and I talk about it all the time,
Yeah.
did you see how this happened so this could happen and then this could happen? And it's
Yeah.
just like, holy shit,
You don't
life
question
is
it at
magical.
all. It's fucking magical.
like,
And
wow.
you dance. I always say this. When you're in the womb, that eternal now, you dance with the deva. You do. And that's what we're doing. We're just dancing. And you don't step back and not do anything. Of course you pick up fucking shovels and dig holes and move rocks and plant, or whatever you're doing.
I posted an article today about how dirt has microbes in it
I
that
saw
make
that.
you happy.
Yeah, I saw that.
How cool is that? Dirt makes us happy.
I've been digging in the dirt like a motherfucker, and I'm happy to be here.
I was running around barefoot in the dirt last weekend, and I was
Yeah.
like, yes, like you just feel so good.
Grounding.
Yeah.
Grounding.
But
Mother
it's
Earth.
so cool how
Yeah.
everything's exactly as it should be
Yeah.
placed, how it is for its purpose
Yeah.
to help each other.
I almost want to
And-
use the word predestined. I love that word. Predestined.
Oh, I was like,
Predestined. You know, we'll have to talk
well,
about
let's
this
talk
later.
about like fate and destiny and that whole thing. Because I don't even know what I think about that now.
I could get into it, but it wouldn't
Makes
make
my
sense
mind
to a lot
melt
of
a
people.
little bit. Well, don't say that.
No, I'm just saying because
We're still making sense of
I
it.
said I could get into it, but it would just
It's not time.
yeah, it's not time. Well, hell yeah, happy Friday.
Yes. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, at least here in Dallas.
Yeah, the weather's been fucking amazing, and we have a lot of things happening here. Bing, bing, bing. We have the full moon coming up, I believe, on the 29th. So let's see how everything goes into conjunction with the full moon.
Good show.